Adrienne Youdim. I'm a physician practicing in Los Angeles. I'm a wife, I'm a mother to three beautiful children. I have two kids who are young adults and are in college right now. And while I have a medical practice, I am very committed to mind body medicine, not only for myself, not only for my patients, but also I think as a mother and as a caretaker, it is such a critical way of bringing forth the change, the peace, the sense of community that I wish for my children and for all of my community around the world. I think as a busy physician and mother and daughter to parents who are aging, as a go-getter, we carry the stress, we hold the stress, not only personally but of the people around us. At least for me, very personally, I feel like I have antennas and always am surveying my surroundings and always internalizing what is going on around me, and yet carrying through in all of my responsibilities and all of my daily duties. And I think for a certain period of time, we have the capacity to stretch ourselves and to hold all of the conflict and stress and disarray in the world around us, the uncertainty in the world around us. But at some point, that capacity starts to fail us, and we need the tools to build more capacity, to build the resilience in order to navigate all of the challenges that we meet. And mind body medicine really offered a template for that. Not only a template, but very practical, tangible tools that I think my medical training did not allow me to appreciate, because our way of training and practicing medicine disconnects the mind and the body. And mind body medicine really offered this template for bringing those two together, and then offering also the, again, tangible tools in order to implement greater resilience. Well, you asked me about what brought me to mind body medicine, and it was a very serendipitous and circuitous path. I wasn't necessarily seeking mind body medicine, but I think a pivotal moment for me was really the last few years, what happened in Israel in October 7th, what transpired in the United States afterwards. Again, I have children in college. They were very much personally affected by anti-Semitism. They were harassed. They were traumatized. And, as a daughter of immigrants from Iran, I never personally experienced any of this. My parents experienced hardship, they experienced persecution, but I was blessed to be able to take advantage of their sacrifices and really had the opportunity to grow and to fulfill my dreams in every way possible, without any true barrier. I mean, there were barriers there in terms of financial barriers and difficulties, but I essentially had this sense that I could do and achieve anything I wanted to, provided that I put in the hard work and the determination. And I really had this sense that the entire world, that my environment was really conspiring in my success, celebrating and with me in my achievements. That sense of community was really shattered for me after October 7th. And for years, I mean, years, I would say, that I experienced an existential crisis that impacted me on every level, physically, emotionally, psychologically. I questioned my institutions, my leaders, my heroes. Really, everything that I believed in was upended for me. And that brings about a profound sense of loss and a profound sense of grief. And fortunately, I was engaged in this work, again, serendipitously, alongside this huge transformation that was occurring in the world around us and in me personally. And I don't know that there was an instant moment, but there was certainly an unfolding where I recognized that while I want to control the world around me, I am powerless in changing what is happening, but I can be powerful in how I respond to those events. I can have agency in how I deal with trauma, loss, grief, and uncertainty. And that's really where the power of this work is. When we are faced with so much that we can't control in our world around us, in terms of world affairs, our personal lives, loss, illness, instability. In many ways, we are powerless in what is happening around us, but we can be very powerful in how we navigate ourselves. And that has not only the power of changing us personally, but has the potential to ripple out into the world around us. It changes how not only we engage with ourselves, but how we engage with our families, our coworkers, our community. And those touch points in of themselves then ripple out to every person that each of those people come across or touch in their lives. And that's where this work is not just self-care, but I think it's also an act of advocacy. And I'll also say this, that for those of us who are in the diaspora, who are living in the United States, who are watching these horrific and atrocious events unfold around us and unfold in Iran, and we feel so helpless. We feel so powerless because we really can't concretely change what's happening across the world. But this work gives us an opportunity to set forth the energy, the intention, the intuition, the inherent wisdom, to tap into our collective wisdom. And that is a powerful force that I do think can impact not only the people in our surrounding space, but the people that we yearn for and care for who are across the globe. You know, I am very much an advocate of garnering support, of creating your army in terms of finding physicians that can help you, finding therapists that can help you, looking for healers in different modalities that can help you. Ultimately, we have the power to help ourselves. Ultimately, even in those moments where we feel lost and confused, we have an internal compass. We know the right answer. We know the next step. We know what is best for us. However, in a world in which we are constantly inundated by outside noise, we move away from that internal knowing. Mind-body medicine is a practice that gives people agency. It reminds them that we ourselves have the power to affect change, whether that is personal in terms of our physical health, whether it is in terms of our emotional and psychological health, or our relational health with one another, or our professional health in terms of what we want to do in our work, in our organizations, in our companies. Mind-body medicine is truly foundational to all of those aspects. And I have seen it not only personally, but I have seen it in my patients, for example. I have patients who come in with metabolic disease, with inflammatory conditions. They are looking for guidance, they're looking for therapies. And as a Western trained physician, I have those therapies at my disposal. I can prescribe, for example, medications. That plays a role. But there is a role that only mind-body medicine can play in our healing, in our physical healing. And the studies have been very clear that this is not fluff, that when we engage in practices like deep breathing, guided visualization, mindfulness, that we literally elicit physiologic changes in our body that reduce inflammation, increase immunity, support our cardiovascular health and our cardiovascular system, turn on the parts of our brain that are engaged in rational thinking, executive functioning. And so there's a very concrete way in which mind-body medicine helps us regulate ourselves, helps us turn on the processes that support our physical health, but again, or in addition, also support our mental and emotional health, and then of course our relational and professional health. Because if we are physiologically turning on the parts of our brain that are involved in cognition, executive functioning, and dialing back the parts of our brain that are involved in reactivity, in judgment, when we are increasing the parts of our brain that are involved in emotional regulation and empathy, you can see how all of these factors helps us engage in our relationships and in our work in a way that is much more powerful and impactful. So mind-body medicine is not just a tool for, again, self-care or self-regulation. It is a powerful way in which we can have agency in our own health and well-being, but then also in all of the affairs that we are hoping to pursue. And that includes the professional space. And so again, I reiterate that this is powerful work that can be used for the individual on the level of their physical health and well-being, their emotional health and well-being, but it also is a tool of advocacy in which we can change our communities as well as be more impactful, intentional in our professional lives and in our workplaces. You know, we are living in such complicated times. There is so much chaos, catastrophe, trauma that is happening all across the globe, even in our own country. And of course, so close to our hearts, what's unfolding right now as we speak in Iran. Sadly, we don't have the control. We don't have power over changing, perhaps concretely, what is happening in Iran. But that doesn't mean that we aren't powerful. That doesn't mean that we are powerless. We do have tremendous opportunity to bring about healing, to bring about transformation, not only in ourselves, but in the world around us. And I think that's where mind-body medicine comes in. It comes in on a very practical level because it gives us the tools to engage with this uncertainty and this tragedy with a greater sense of personal regulation, with emotional regulation. And then when we are in that place of calm, of intention, then that is where we really can reclaim our agency. That is really where we can reclaim our power. And to be very clear and discerning, what is it that we can do? How can we help? How can we step up? How can we show up for the people around us, for the communities that we care about? That kind of certainty, that kind of knowing does not come from a dysregulated place. It comes from a place of calm and ease and personal peace. And again, that is what these practices give us. These practices give us the tools to reclaim ourselves so that we can advocate for ourselves and for the communities that we care about from a place of intention, from a place of certainty, and from a place of agency. And that is powerful when it's just an N of one, when it's just an individual. Imagine the power when we engage in this work collectively, not only on the local level, but on a global level. It really has the power through community to create transformative collective change. I feel like I would just say that I recognize that people are hurting right now, that people are grieving right now, for things that are known and for things that are unknown. We are trying to navigate traumas and tragedies that are unfolding around us. And so many people are trying to navigate their own personal traumas and their own personal challenges. The message that I would like to share is that wherever you are, whoever you are, whatever you are experiencing, you are not alone. We are all in this human condition together. We should remain hopeful because despite what we are seeing unfold around us, despite the battles that we may be up against inside of us, we really do have a lot to be hopeful for. And that if we can pause and believe in that, really engage in that hope, we can capitalize on our personal power to create change in our lives and in the lives of the people around us. So let's remain together. Let's remain in community. Let's connect with understanding and kindness. Let's recognize that whoever we are, wherever we were born, wherever we live right now, we really are united together. And let's maintain hope for a better future for the people of Iran. I pray that their freedom will come, that their time will come, and all of this sacrifice that they have engaged in, not only in the last few weeks, but for the last 47 years, will come to fruition with victory, freedom, and celebration. I pray for that.